Okay, guys, so we are at week 4, and this is lesson number 2. Okay, so for homework, I gave you exercise 15.1, question 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10 there. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a correction of those, and then we're going to teach one more thing, and we leave it at that for today. So not too taxing, but it's important that we get the hang of this. And it's important that and I saw it before we logged in, that a lot of you have uploaded your work, which is great. We got through a few mistakes that were made in the homework, and we move on. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken this red box out, and I've just moved it over. Because it's very cluttered over here, so we can do some of the sums in the homework. So I've put this box here, okay? So we'll have a look at a few of these sums before we move on. So we start with question 5. So question 5a, and we're just subbing in every time, do you remember? So 5a, we're looking for p squared. And p squared is equal to 5 squared, because p is 5, which is equal to 5 by 5, which is going to be equal to 25. Part b of that then is going to be q squared. Q squared is slightly more difficult, which is equal to minus 3 squared. Remember that n squared is just minus 3 multiplied by minus 3, which is equal to 9, and it's plus 9. It's plus 9 because we had a minus 3 and a minus 3. The signs are the same. So remember that the signs are the same, it's plus. Signs are different, it's going to be minus. Part C is going to be Q, it's going to be P by Q, which is equal to 5 by 4, which is equal to 20. Part D is going to be equal to minus 3qp, which is going to be equal to minus 3 times, what is q, and minus 3 by p, which is 5. Now, I'm going to take this nice and slow. I'm going to leave that minus 3 on its own out here, right? So I'm going to put that down again. And I'm just going to sort my brackets. So 3 by 5 is 15. And because we have a minus by a plus, it's going to be minus 15. I'm going to finish off the sum. 3 by 15 is 45. And the signs are the same, so it's going to be just plus 45, or 45 on its own. The last two parts, part E, minus 2p or, which is going to be equal to, leave the minus 2, p is 5, and or is 4. So I'm going to do the same. I'm going to leave the minus 2 alone, sort my brackets. 5 by 4, 20. Multiply the minus 2 by the 20 is minus 40. Minus 2 by plus 20 is minus 40, because the signs are different. The last one is going to be part F. Part F, P, Q, or. So 5 by minus 3 by 4. So 5 by minus 3 by 4. So P by Q by or. So if I do these two first. No, I'll do these two first. Minus 3 by 4 gives us minus 12. And we leave the 5 there. So I've just worked out those two in the brackets. Now I'm going to multiply 5 by minus 12. It's going to be minus 60. Minus 60 because minus by plus. Okay, going on to question number 6 then. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to do 2 of these because we'll be all day. So I'm going to do the 2 harder parts. I'm going to do part C and part D. So we're going to do 6C and we're going to do 6D. We'll do 6D here. So part C, I'm just going to sub in straight away. We have a squared, which is going to be 4 squared minus 3 times whatever b is, which is 3, minus c. Very difficult. Minus c, and c is minus 2, so we've got to be careful with that. Let's bring it down further. Let's work out 4 squared is 16. Let's work out that part. So we worked out this part already, 16. Now we're going to work out this part. 3 by 3 is 9. We have a minus by a plus, so it's going to be minus 9. And the last part, we've minus 2. So minus by minus is plus 2. So 16 minus 9 is going to be equal to 7. Plus 2 is 9. Okay, the last part then, we said we do 6D as well. We've c squared, so this is going to be minus 2 squared minus 2 times AC, which is 4 by minus 2,
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
4 by minus 2. Minus b. So b is 3. Minus 3. So we work that out. Then that minus 2 squared is minus 2 and minus 2 gives you 4.
I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
Sorry, my Mac is going mad. There. No. So we have, leave the minus 2 for a second, work out the brackets, and leave the minus 3. So the brackets 4 by minus 2 gives you minus 8. So I'm doing an extra line here. So it's going to be 4 goes down, and the minus 3 goes down, and we're working out this middle part here. So minus 2 by minus 8 gives you plus 16. But that gives you 16 plus 4 is 20, minus 3 gives you 17. Okay, so a lot of steps in that. You really got to take your time going through these. After that then was question number 7, and I'm going to go up the top here to do question 7. Give us a bit of space, and we'll just do the two. I suppose we do B and F, right? We'll take 2 parts because they're all the same. So we're going to do so 7b is going to be C minus A, so it's going to be 5 minus 1 over 2a plus b. Okay, so we're going to do 2 times a, which is 1, plus b, which is 4. That's going to work out. Top line is going to be 6. 5, or sorry, top line is not going to be 6. 5 minus 1 is going to be 4. The bottom line is going to be 2 by 1 is 2. So 2 plus 4 gives you 4 over 6. And you can break that down if you wanted to 2/3. Part F then, the most difficult part in the question, is AB minus XY, right? So A by B, so 1 by 4 minus X by Y, where's X by Y? Minus 2 by 3, there's my top line done. I just subbed in for the numbers. Right, AC, so it's 4 by minus 2 minus CX, 5 by minus 2, 5 by minus 2, like that. So we just subbed in. I've done no maths yet, I've just subbed in. Wherever I saw the numbers, I just subbed them in. So let's work out the top line. 1 by 4 gives you 4. So this is a bit of a tricky one. With minus 2 by 3, it's going to give you minus 6. By a minus outside, it's going to give you plus 6. So 4 plus 6. On the bottom, 4 by minus 2 gives you minus 8. And down at the bottom here, we 5 by minus 2 gives you minus 10. But don't forget the minus outside, it's going to give you plus 10. So what we're going to end up with is 10 on the top. And minus 8 plus 10 and 2 on the bottom. So if you're going to divide it in then, the answer is going to be 5. And you're going to have to pause and go back and look at that again. Or if you're not sure, ask the question. But it's step by step, nice and slow. Sub in, multiply one bit at a time, and let the answer come out and pop out at you. Okay, question number 9 then. Question number 9, they're saying that here's our formula here. Here's our equation. So our equation is going to be 20 plus 25d. And they're saying, oh, okay, well, d is the number of days hired. So we're going to sub in, for part A, we're going to sub in 3. So part A is going to be 20 plus 25 times 3, which is equal to 20 plus 75, which is going to be equal to 95. So that is the cost. That's going to be 95 euros. For part B, you're just subbing in 6. So 20 plus 25 by 6, which is equal to 20 plus 150, which is going to be equal to 170 euros. So see, I'm just subbing in whatever number they give me. This part, don't get cut out by part C, because part C is all about 2 weeks. So I have to sub in a big number, 20 plus 25 times 14, because it's 14 days and 2 weeks. So it's going to be 20 plus, let me just work out, 25 by 14, which is 350. So that's going to be equal to 370 euros. That's how much it's going to cost you for 2 weeks. Okay. And the last question is question number 10. So I'm going to bring 10 here, okay? Question 10. And question 10 is all about if you call these guys out to your house, do they make a profit? The formula they're giving us here is t squared plus 30t minus 40. And they're saying, right, we want to sub in for, so t is the time in hours. So we want to sub in for 2 hours for part A. We want to sub in 2 hours. So we're going to have 2 squared plus 30 times 2 minus 40. We're going to see how much money are they going to make out of this. Well, okay, it's 4 plus 60 minus 40, which is equal to 64 minus 40 is 24 euros. So if they come out for 2 hours, they're making 24 euros profit. But what about 5 hours? Well, okay, 5 hours is going to be 5 squared plus 30 times 5 minus 40. I'm just subbing in 5 this time. 25 plus 30 times 5 is 150 minus 40, which is 135 euros. So if they come out to your house for 5 hours, they're making 135 euros. For 10 hours then, so for part C, you're going to have 10 squared plus 30 times 10 minus 40, which is going to be 100 plus 300 minus 40. So if they come out to your house for 10 hours, they're going to make 100 and 300 is 400 minus 40 is 360 euros. Okay, they're making big money. But what the last part of the question says, a drain takes 1 hour to unblock. Will they make a profit? So, well, okay, we'll sub in 1 for you, no problem. That's part D. So part D, I'll just do it here. So 1 squared plus 30 times 1 minus 40. Let's see. 1 plus 30 minus 40 is equal to 31 minus 40 is minus 9. So, no, they do not make a profit. No profit. They're down 9 euros if they only come for an hour. So what they're getting at there is that if they come for 2 hours, they get 24 euros. If they come for 5 hours, they get 135. 10 hours, 360. But if they only come for 1 hour, they actually lose 9 euro. Okay, now that's difficult. The corrections there are difficult. There were some mistakes in the homework, especially around signs. Be careful. You're multiplying. Minus by minus is a plus. Plus by plus is a plus. Minus by plus is a minus. And plus by minus is a minus. If the signs are the same, it's plus. If they're different, it's minus. Be careful. Take your time with these. Right. Let's go back and have a look at one more thing. And don't forget that those questions are not gone. I want you to ask me if you're not sure. Let me know if you're not sure. Because we can go back and look at more examples before we move on. But let's do one thing today. One new thing. If I had apples and oranges and I said, right, here's 3 apples and here's 2 bananas. Add them together. What do you get? You'd say, well, you get 3 apples and you get 3 apples and 2 bananas. You're not going to say you get 5 apple bananas or 5 banapples. They don't that. They're different. So apples and bananas are different. So remember that for a second. And here's the rule. Only terms that have exact same letters raised to the same powers can be added or subtracted. Let me just show you what that means quickly, right? That if I have x plus x plus x, what's the answer? It'd be 3x, wouldn't it? If I have 8b minus 7b, what's the answer? It's just going to be 1b, isn't it? What if I had x squared plus 3x? What would the answer to that be? The answer to that would be x squared plus 3x. These are different, so I can't add them together. Because this is like saying this is an apple and this is a banana. That gives us an apple and a banana. There's nothing we can do. So only if they are the same. X squared plus 3x is the same as if I had b squared plus b. They are different. Only thing I can say, that's equal to b squared plus b. I cannot add them together. You can't add them together. If I had b squared plus b squared plus b. Now there's something I could probably do. Because this fella is the same as this fella, and this one is the same as this one here, well then I can say, okay, I have 2b squareds and I have 2b's. So that's simplifying it some way. But I can't add a b squared to a b because they're different. Okay, so let's have a quick look at a couple of them. So here's the kind of simple one. So basically the homework is based around here and here. These are the kind of first two questions, and these are the second two questions here. I think I can't remember how many questions I have. 1, 2, 3. Yes, 2 and 2. So we've 1, 3, 6, and 8 was the homework, right? So these ones here, if we have x plus x, what's that give us? If you have 1x and 1x, it gives you 2 x's. If I have 2y, take away 4 y's, it gives me minus 2 y's, and add 3 y's, it just gives me y. If I have 2a squareds and I take away 6a squareds, it gives me minus 4a squareds. Just because there's squares and a's and all that, it's the same as integers. But if I go down here and we have a bit of a mess now, we have x's and y's and x's and y's and then something that hasn't got an x or a y. So what we're going to do is I'm going to pair them up. I can use x's with x's. I can take them away from each other. And with the y's, I can take them away from each other. There's nothing, the 3 is nothing I can do about the 3. Because there's no other numbers by themselves. So we can then have a look at the solution to part A then. We have, what they've done is they've put the x's together and the y's together. So they've moved all the x's to the front. So we have 4x plus 3x. That gave them 7x. And minus 2y minus 5y gave them minus 7y. And the L3 stays as a 3. And that's the answer. So you only add and subtract things that are the same. This one here, you have 5a squared minus 2a minus 7. And then where the problem comes in is you have a minus sign in the middle there. And then you have the second bracket. And what that means, that minus sign is multiplied by everything in the bracket here. So you see what's going to happen now in a second. We go down to this part here. You have, keep an eye on the question, you have 5a squared minus 2a minus 7. Exactly the same as the question. What happened? What did this minus sign here cause? Well, it caused all the signs to change. Minus 4a, it was plus in the question. Plus 3a squared, it was minus in the question. And minus 3, and that was plus in the question. So because I multiplied the minus by 4a, gave you minus 4a. The minus by minus 3a gave you a plus. And the minus by the plus gave you a minus. So all of those signs, 1, 2, 3, changed. And then we said, right, we can do the squares. Here's the squares. 5a plus 3a gave us 8a. Minus 2a minus 4a gave us minus 6a. And minus 7 minus 3 gave us minus 10. Okay, right. So I've probably wrecked your head enough for today. So what I'm going to give you here is 4 questions for lesson 3. And the first ones, they're all the same terms. So the same as the first example we just did there. These ones here will take you a bit longer. But remember, if we're to pick any of these, so if I'm to pick the last part of question 3, you can only say 8a and 2a. Right, I can only add those two. 8a and 2a are going to give me 10a. Then the b's, minus 4 minus 3, going to be minus 7b. So your answer is going to be 10a minus 7b. And these ones are like the last example we just looked at there. You're going to be careful here, here, and here. Because the minus sign here is going to mess with all the signs in the second bracket. Give them a shot. I know it's hard. I know it's going to take a while for us to get this, but we will get there, and you'll be well able to do these in a while. But give them a shot. Make sure that you have your homework from lesson 1 and lesson 2 up, preferably by the start of lesson 3, but if not, by the end of the week. Okay. Thanks very much for listening, and I'll talk to you later on.